Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. Big up your damn selves in the building. Smash up the likes. I see you all in the comments. Baba will be here very, very, very soon. Do not worry. Listen, we were just talking backstage. We're still recovering, to be honest, from what happened last weekend. We need a win under our belts, Younes, bro. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
You know what's mad? I didn't anticipate just how down everyone actually would be. I felt it. I'm not going to lie. But now I am honestly more looking to Luton. And I'm like, okay, just focus on Luton, focus on Luton. But everyone is still like affected by the West Ham loss. And I'm like, holy shit, like, it's like last season again. I'm like, no, this needs to, hopefully we can all calm down. Hopefully we can get a result, get a pummeling 4-0, 5-0, whatever we need. Jackson on the score sheet. Things looking good, and then we can move. Because, I don't want to do this again.
Miz was just saying before we started, he was like, we're not going to do this again, are we? We can't do this again.
No, we cannot.
I don't think we will. I don't think
we cannot. I will lose my mind. Like, already I'm getting like bad feelings and bad sensations of last season creeping in, because we forgot about last season, right? We moved on. Then the transfer window started, then the preseason started, and it was all good vibes and, new players coming in, Pochettino. And then, nice, good performance against Liverpool. We should have won. Okay, no problems. We're thinking, all right, now we're going to kick into gears. Whoa. What was that against West Ham in the second half? Because today we are on Thursday, and I'm still not over it. I am still not over that shock. But Antonio is in my head. He's living rent-free in my head.
Antonio.
What he did, he bullied Lewa Colwell. He made a fool out of Desai.
Why is everyone calling him Desai?
It's me. I'm not
because of
Matisse. I'm just trying to help him along his way, give him a little bit of confidence. So I thought, let me call him after a legend.
The disrespect on Desai.
Disrespectful, disaster class to come.
I've had an Arsenal fan call him Desai, and I'm like, oh man, what do I do?
What have I done?
Do I correct him? Do I not?
Brother, it's Desai. It's no Desai here.
I'll remember that for next time, because
we're looking for strikers, Matisse, and then you got this Antonio, brother. No one talks about that, often enough. And look at the kind of stuff that he's doing, bro. He's making a fool out of our defense. Ridiculous, man. Well, I need a 4-0 victory minimum against Luton. Minimum.
Let's just go through the checklist of what we absolutely need tomorrow night. I'm gonna start with saying that we need to not see Chilwell at left wing. Just start with. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Just a preference.
Add no back three to that matter.
No back three to that. Okay, perfect.
Because
two defenders only. Two defenders.
Two centre backs.
Centre backs.
Two centre backs, two full backs.
I feel like I need to see a minimum 3-0 win as well. Like I want to walk away from that game not thinking, oh, we just got through that and we bagged our 3 points, but we're still concerned. I need to go from that game thinking, okay, confidence is into the veins of Mudryk. He's probably not going to play. Well, he doesn't even train.
Where is Mudryk?
Where's Lavia?
Where's Lavia?
Where are our players?
Lavia,
where are our players?
Lavia apparently is got his program done because he didn't have a fully fledged preseason, so he'll be in the squad. Apparently he'll be in the squad, but
take your time.
Mudryk is like, where's the brother at? I don't know. I tried to go out to try and find him in the.
Is he filming again?
I can't find him.
Is he filming?
Huh?
Is he filming again?
Who knows if he's
last time what he was filming, right?
Or he's getting approached by Arsenal fans again, or I don't know.
Last time he was filming bum cracks. We all know what his brother is a bit twisted.
Him? I thought it was Saliba doing that.
Remember the whole gym thing? Mudryk in the gym.
Mudryk in the gym, remember?
Oh, sorry, yes. And then the famous gym coordinator kind of come out.
Yeah, that guy. Slammed him. Slammed him.
Can't be doing that. How dare you? It's not gym etiquette. Filming bomb crack. Madness. But I would have been hoping that Mudryk would have been available for this game, because I think it would have been a good opportunity for him to get some confidence. This guy needs to get some confidence in terms of finishing, because we need in the way that he plays his game. obviously he would love to be going down to the byline, getting past players with his speed and whatnot, but he actually needs to contribute to goals as well. It's just something that deeply within me feels like he has to be contributing to goals. It's just the way that I've seen him playing, he's just not exactly, the
chaos.
Yes,
it's chaos.
It is chaos. It's very Younes-esque, actually. It's very much chaos. It's very much P&P, and for that, I need goals. I'm not gonna lie, I need goals, because it's not like I'm getting like these kind of line breaking passes and these perfect crosses. I need goals. I need inverted runs towards goal, like we saw in preseason with Jackson. That is exactly what I need. Fantastic link up. And great finish. He's got it in him, I'm sure, but I need to see it.
Matisse, there has to come a point where that performance Mudryk put out against West Ham, brother, like there's only that many times we can keep saying, you're new, you're settling in. Bro, you need to now put a performance together where you score goals or you assist goals and you go for a bit of a run. And then you might have that odd one game here and there where you have a bit of an off day. Yeah. Too many now where we've seen where we hype him up, we think we're going to get the player
I'm
that
not even
we
hyping him. I'm just giving him confidence if he's watching.
Yeah. And then he comes like, Chukwuemeka was playing so well that game, gets his goal as well. One of our, bright lights for that match. You think, okay, Mudryk now gets an opportunity. He's going to grab it with two hands. He's really going to now perform and show Pochettino that why you need to start me. Brother, you gave Pochettino too many reasons to why not to start you. But you got to do the opposite. Do you know what I mean? We still want him to start, but he's got to take opportunities, bro.
That's true. Yeah. It's true. The one thing about Mudryk is it's important to not ask for too much too soon, I believe. But no, one step at a time, one good game, and then another good game, and then another good game. And with that, you build consistency. And that's all we're asking for right now. If you get an assist against Luton, or cool, great. All right, next, try and get a goal. Try and get another assist. Okay, cool. Another one. Try and get a goal. Cool. Another one. Try and get an assist and a goal. Like, just don't ask for too much too soon. Keep it consistent and be fine. But I don't want to see shots going backwards again and all that madness, because that was that was ridiculous.
What would I guess the centre back? To be honest, on the goal we conceded from Antonio, everybody was awful in that. Silva was musical statues. Decisive was, I don't know, not decisive, as I was saying in my review. And Levi Colwell got absolutely bodied, shoulder to shoulder.
He got bodied.
And I've learned very quickly. And listen, I don't want to jump to too many conclusions this early, but this is something that I've already felt when we made the signing. Sanchez is going to just be decent. He's not going to really save us like that. Yeah. It doesn't feel like as if shot stopping wise, he's going to pull off these worldies where we're like, oh, thank God for him. It feels very much like he's just a good goalkeeper. He's going to do his job. But if we do give away high quality chances, we're probably going to concede. That's just how it feels. It doesn't feel like we've upgraded so far. And then obviously going into this game, what's you guys' kind of backline? Because we know what the goalkeeper situation is. We signed Petrovic. Apparently he could be on the bench. Cool. But in centre-back positions, I guess it's got to be Silva and Colwell, is it? Are you going to take 100. Decisive? Yep. That's decisive out.
No, bro. He can watch them. He can watch how those two
Are we being too harsh on decisive? Are we being too harsh?
Bro, it's a season to be harsh, bro. It's a season to be harsh.
It's a season to be.
Yeah, no, honestly, this is how it all starts, lads. Do you remember last season? Oh, one game. Potter, he's just here. 2 game, 3 game, 4 game. Before you know, 28th game, and we are 12th. This is how it all starts. All right, I've got no time for this. Desasi was meant to be a good defender. All right. I see this brother getting beaten by pace. I see this brother not aware.
We were warned that he could be slow.
I don't care about the warning. Bro, fix yourself. Fix yourself. All right. For now, watch Silva, Colwell for me to start. Matisse, bro, I swear, I'm fed up, bro.
His head's gone. His head's gone, people. Ladies and gentlemen, he's finished. Match day 2, he's finished.
You can't believe after what you've watched last season that you're potentially going to have to do this complaining this season. Listen, I'm going to give you reasons to not have a
PTSD kicking in hard.
I swear it is. Like I'm nervous while I'm talking. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, against Luton, Caicedo, I'm sure, absolutely has to start and will be starting, right? So that will bring some balance into the midfield. My actual way of going about this, if it's, first of all, I'd like to go back to a back four. I think that's pretty obvious. I know at times in the last game we played a 4, people will say, but when you're playing Chilwell at left wing, I don't really count that as a 4. I count that as a 5, but one of them have just run astray. Forrest Gump. You know, that's how I see that. So a lot of people were trying to correct me. They were like, oh, no, you're playing a 4, Colwell's at left back. I was like, yeah, but Chilwell's at left wing. And that's basically just non-existent. That's not a left winger. So
repeat that. Colwell at left back and Chilwell at left wing. Like, come on, what are we doing?
And funnily enough, do you know what's so ironic from all of that? Do you know who would have done better in that side? Ian Maatson would have been a better left winger to have.
100.
Funny. Lewis Hall probably would have been a better left back to have in that position as well, seeing as we're chasing a goal, right? Someone that could... So just hilarious, right? How we end up in these situations. The 2 young players that we're kind of looking at, we're going to discard. One's not going to get a new contract. The other one's gone to Newcastle. If you're chasing a game and you need, you need chance creation, you need good crossing, and you need somebody to link up the play, join up the play, someone to carry the ball past opponents. Lewis Hall and Ian Maatson. But we actually had the other options. But anyway, so for me, I just don't want to see that. I don't care if it's leave a Cole at left back or Chill at left back. I just don't want to see any of that. Yeah. And with Caicedo and Enzo, I feel like that's balance. I don't feel like even if we did have Lavia, that he'd necessarily need to start alongside Caicedo in this game. I think Enzo's passing from deep is fantastic. So just play him next to Caicedo and let's just go maybe as forward thinking as possible. Do you know who's really escaped attention? And I don't know why, because he had a really, really good preseason. It's Andre Santos. And so many people that follow the Brazilian league have already been, and you could see it, I guess, if you did some research a little bit before when we signed him. But obviously, we started playing him DM. We didn't have many other options. But he's played as an 8. And in the Under-20 World Cup, he was, crashing the box and he was scoring headers. Now, we know the men's game, the highest level is completely different to the Under-20s. Cassidy, he was getting goals. I think he was the Golden Boot winner. Levi Colwell's had a little bit of a, couple shoulder moments, a little bit of a humbler. This is grown-ass men's football. It's a little bit different. But I'd like to see him given a go because he had such a good preseason. Technically, he's so secure. I'd like to see Andre Santos involved in a midfield 3 where, okay, he doesn't have to be the most defensive-minded. He can play as an 8 and he could potentially move forward and potentially contribute to our options in the box. Because when we get out wide, we don't have enough options in the box. It was just Jackson and then a floater. One person just kind of don't really want to be there, but I need to be here. Do you know what I mean? No one going in there with any real intent. So it would be nice to be able to see that. But he wasn't even on the bench last game. So I don't know what you guys' confidence levels are in seeing Andre Santos. Big up Baba in the building.
Hello. What's up? Panic buttons in the panic stations all around.
Miz is having a meltdown.
Meltdown.
I'm trying to calm him down. But I'm also like, why is Andre Santos being left out of the last squad? I've seen as he was probably one of our most impressive players in preseason. So I don't know. I'd like to see him reinstated against Luton, but I don't know what anyone else thinks about that.
You know what's mad? These players that we're mentioning that were quality in preseason are not really being used. Well, they're not being given a look in, and it's like, hang on, I thought we learned a lot in preseason, and preseason's preseason, but it's not like we played against we did play against Wrexham, but I mean, we didn't play against that sort of quality every single game. Do you know what I mean? We played against Brighton, we played against Newcastle, we played against Dortmund, and we done well, and we were playing quality, fluid football, and these players that were involved, Maatson, Santos, I'm going to take those 2 only because anyone else I can understand or they've already gone on loan or whatnot. But Matson's not getting a look in. I'm like, he was probably one of the most important players in preseason who impressed us the most. Santos equally as good. Santos I can understand because of the competition now in that part of the pitch, but with Lavia not being ready yet, Caicedo's just come in. You'd think maybe Santos could be used. Luton's a perfect game to be able to try these sort of players out and to play in the way we want to play because you're not going to get a better opportunity against an opposition like Luton. With all due respect, but realistically, we can't go lower. In terms of all the teams we have available, we can't go lower than a Luton right now. So I swear, if we lose to Luton, you won't see me again.
If we draw,
cancel everything. But we're not coming to All You Can Eat Chelsea for a month.
No, it's cancelled. It's cancer. But with these players, it'd be a good chance to try and revert to what worked in preseason, a back four. Now, without a 10, if we go to a 4-3-3 and we incorporate a Santos, for example, or if we try a 4-2-3-1 with a 10, but who's going to play there? We're going to have to try and experiment. But I think it's crucial to have 2 fullbacks, 2 wingers, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and go from there. That way, even in terms of having the extra attacker, penetrating that space, aiding Jackson, closing the gaps a little bit, getting more involved, I think we have more chances of getting goals. And I think hopefully that way we get 3 or 4 past Luton. So if we go to a back 3, though, I'll be worried. Because if we go to a back 3 and we still end up using the same players we kind of used, these ones that I've mentioned that are not getting a look in, then I think that's going to set a tone for the season. Because if we're doing that against Luton, we're going to do that against everybody, surely. Yeah. So
it's like
I begin to get worried.
If we were playing a 3, but we were playing wingers like Sterling and Mudryk, but high and wide as actual wingers, like Arsenal and City do when they play a 3, then I don't think people would be as panicky, because then we'd be like, okay, we're not losing an attacker here because we're going to double up in midfield, go over a box 4, and we're going to see, we're going to see a lot of options in the attacking areas. But the way we do it is we play with actual wing backs, and they can't take people on, so they need combinations. And they find that there are lack of combinations because we've sacrificed an attacker. And against West Ham, I have to say, the centre-backs, they didn't break any lines with their passing. They were slow and they were lethargic, and very much felt like it was pointless having an extra one. Not only because we conceded 3 goals, 1 from a set piece, which was one thing that I think everybody probably mentioned in their previews, do not do, is concede too many set pieces with Ward-Prowse. And if you're going to have 3 centre-backs, do not concede in that situation. We did that anyway. So
in general, we've been very poor with the set pieces. We are 3rd highest goals conceded from set piece since last season. So that is something that we really need to look at. It's not about Ward-Prowse or people being good set piece takers. In general, we are very vulnerable to set piece.
Well, even against Liverpool, right, where Kepa made a couple of really good saves from set pieces. There was a set piece header that hit Reece James. It was meant to be, well, it didn't end up being a handball. Like, I think Liverpool was claiming it to be a handball and a penalty. So yeah, we've been poor in set pieces, just all up. It doesn't even need to be someone as expert as Ward-Prowse to exploit that. So that's something we need to fix up pronto. Going back to the point where you were saying, Matisse, none of the defenders were making line-breaking passes, and one of them that we kind of hope is Levi Colwill that does that. One of the reasons I think he's unable to do that in that shape that we've been playing for the first 2 games is Levi Colwill's starting position is too far to the left. Like, when he gets the ball, it's a trigger for the opposition to really press and box him there. Whereas when he's a little bit more central, he's got the freedom to then find a pass through the middle. Yeah. So that whole, I don't think Pochettino is utilizing Levi Colwill properly. He's definitely not utilizing Chilwell properly. And then when you have Silva and Desarcy as well, it's a bit too much of defense. When Malo Gusto on the other side haven't really been bombing up either. So you can potentially still play with a back 3 with Gusto being a little bit more reserved, and you allow for, the traditional back 4 where Chilwell sort of bombs up. So he's got to fix things up, man. And I'm not going to buy it if people keep saying, oh, but it's because Nkunku's injured. Just because Nkunku's injured, we got to look stupid now. It doesn't make sense. We don't need to look stupid. Like, there needs to be other plans. And I think someone like Martin could have been utilized as an Nkunku kind of option through the middle because he's shown the quality.
Yeah.
Unless was that someone else? Or was that was Madsen, right? Were we seeing someone else? I don't know.
It's mad that both the 10s that we have in the team have gone down injured, in Carney and in Nkunku. And now in the window we're seeing Kudus is going to West Ham. I don't really know who we're going for at this point because I'm seeing links to Bacola. He's a winger. Yeah. I feel like we have wingers already. We have Madueke. We have options out there. And also probably what we need out there is consistency, right? If we're going to start building partnerships and relationships, which we don't really tend to build because it tends to be the other way, which is, okay, Reece James and Chilwell get injured. So then the 2 wingers that at that current moment in seasons past, where we were top of the league with Tuchel, they had built up a chemistry and relationship with their wing backs. They fall injured, and now the replacing wing backs, and that's Spilicueta and I think it was Alonso, are not as fluid, are not as the same level technically in some cases, or not got the same dynamics, not as good going forward in Aspi's case. So you've just lost that whole balance. If we know James is out now, so we're playing Gusto. It seems like Chilwell's definitely going to play because he's vice captain. Cucurella has nowhere to be seen. Fine. Not really calling for Cucurella anyway. But if we're going to do that, then we need to be consistent with what we're playing ahead of them now and try and build some sort of chemistry and some sort of relationship, whoever that may be. A lot of people don't like seeing Mudryk and Chilwell on the same flank because obviously, they're getting in each other's way. Maybe Chilwell's always trying to bomb forward. Cucurella would naturally kind of invert and tuck in and leave that space that you're talking about for Levi Cole to kind of play that sweeping pass. Plus, give us an extra man in midfield with Caicedo, whoever plays next to him. And then you do push an Enzo further forward. Plus, you've already got your 10. I don't know what he's going to go with. I feel like when you've vice captain Chilwell, you've kind of put yourself in a box almost that you have to play.
He's got to start.
And that is a concern for me because I don't feel like Chilwell's... Listen, Chilwell, I think, does sometimes get a lot of unnecessary heat where he's not as bad as people think he has been. He actually does. He's very impactful. I'll say that. He's very effective. Those runs that he makes off the ball, it does create a lot of opportunities for us, and he does get into a lot of goal scoring positions. But I also don't think he's good enough on the ball to have this kind of undisputed must start kind of situation going on. I think if Cucurella wasn't kind of the kind of, let's call it as it is, flop at this current moment that he is, then I think that position would be a lot more. It would be a lot more entertaining. Some people say actually best of both worlds, just play Ian Maatsen because Ian Maatsen can get forward, he can shoot, and he can also probably come inside and invert as well because I think technically he's quite sound. We've seen him in central spaces higher up the pitch, so why wouldn't we hopefully be able to do it inside in the deeper position? So Ian Maatsen's probably the best balance out of the two, where you can get a little bit of everything. But I don't know. I don't see him playing at left back anytime soon, considering what we've kind of gone with the experienced two options. But Baba, brother, talk to me. I mean, how are you feeling just this week in general, bro? How are you after that?
See, obviously, I saw all of your videos and I agree with what you had to say. But personally, I feel that I've seen a lot of good things in this team. I think the makings of a good team are there. The narrative has completely changed. Good 45 minutes of Spurs versus Man United have flipped the narrative because they were not that good against Brentford. I mean, the game could have gone either way. First half, it was an even game, and their a good 45 minutes completely changed the narrative. And the opposite has happened with us. We played really good against Liverpool. We were really good in the first half, but again, a bad 45 minutes. Has started triggering those PTSD and that feeling that, okay, it's the last season all over again. So I'm not like looking at it that way. I think we've got a really good squad. The thing is, we need to find a solution again because we are getting so many injuries in so less period of time because all our attack and all our preseason was around Nkunku. He got injured. Then we got Chukwuemeka into the team. He played really well he was good against Liverpool, played really well against West Ham. Everything was going through him. The link up between Jackson and him, Sterling, him, Chilwell, everything was happening through him. He gets injured and suddenly we are out of ideas. So I agree that we need to sort our stuff out, but I'm not in that panic mode. Like Poch does not know what he's doing, or we have too many new players and this team cannot do a madness. I still think we can do a madness this season. It's just about figuring that playing 11. And with Lavia coming in, I think we get that tactical flexibility. We are discussing about playing that number 10. Who's going to play that number 10? I think if we were to field both Caicedo and Lavia, we can use Enzo as an advanced date, the way he used to play in Benfica or the way he used to play in Argentina. That could be a solution also. The team is good. The manager is good, but yeah, if we were to lose against Luton, I can't imagine the meltdown. But I don't think so that'll happen. I think we'll win against Luton.
100% the team is good. There is no doubt the team is not good or anything like that. We've got nothing against that. I think the level of capitulation that happened against West Ham in the second half, I think the fan base has every right to be like, WTF. our board and our owners have done everything possible so far to give you the kind of team to compete. You've been talking the talk. Like, I could understand if our gaffer, Poch, has been coming to the press conference and been saying, do you know what? Give the lads a bit of time. We need a bit of time. Our gaffer's not been saying that. He's been going on every press conference and saying, we need to compete. We need to go for the title. He's talking like Younes. We need to go for the title. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we got Mudryk coming out and saying, if you're in Chelsea building and you don't have that thought of winning titles, then you're in the wrong building. So it's these guys that are building us up and giving us the confidence. And then the level of performance that we saw against Liverpool, we thought you take that to the West Ham and you get the 3 points done and we move on. But the fact that we buckled so badly in that second half, we are scared. Like, it's not unusual for the fan base to feel like this off the back of that unbelievable season that we had last season. So now you got parts of the fan base, including me, who should be going towards Luton and thinking, that's a 3 points, can't wait for a nice 3-0, 4-0 victory, happy days. But now we got people thinking, we're going to win, right? We're winning, yeah? I hope so.
It's funny because against West Ham in the first half, should have been like 2-3-1 up.
Easy.
Missed the penalty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Missed the penalty.
Yeah.
It all went down from there.
Double fluffed on a cutback as well. Should have been 2-3-1 up. Same applies
All
to
the
Liverpool.
3 goals that we conceded were individual mistakes.
Yeah.
Gallagher
Yeah,
not
that's
marking
true.
Aguerd for the first goal, Disasi being too casual with the ball for the second goal, Caicedo conceding a penalty. It was not West Ham were unbelievable.
No, they weren't.
Every time I walk away from a West Ham away game, I always feel like they weren't unbelievable. We just once again just played into their hands in terms of we know their game, we know our game, and we end up playing their game.
And
we lose
somehow
constantly.
something related to a penalty always happens in West Ham away. This time it was an encroachment. Although Enzo should have taken a better penalty over there. I'm not saying that it was a good pen, but that should have been retaken. Last season, if you remember, Souček dived and literally used his hand in the last minutes and it ended in a draw. We should have got a penalty in the last minutes against West Ham. So these things happen, and for us as a team, such strokes of luck need to go our way initially in the season, at least. Not need to be pretty all the time, but 2 games, 1 point puts us in a bit of a pickle because the other teams are getting points consistently. Newcastle have been really good, although they lost against City, but they looked good in their first game. Then Arsenal have won both of their games. So all these teams are all, like Arsenal, for example, are already 5 points ahead of you at this stage of the season. So that is something that we need to look at. But I think we are also a bit unlucky.
I do think we'll beat Luton. I am confident that we'll beat Luton, to be honest. I think the only thing for us is the finishing. This is my hesitation on having Enzo as I guess the kind of 10 is obviously I don't think Lavia will play tomorrow anyway, so I don't think it'll be an issue directly for tomorrow. But we need to get numbers into the box because Jackson aerially is not. He's not that great, right? We already knew that when we signed him. All of his goals in preseason were, with his feet. Great finishes, 1v1. I don't think we've created a single 1v1 for Jackson since the season started. And obviously he hasn't scored. But the opportunities we were creating for Jackson in preseason, we're not creating those chances. We need to be able to play that ball in behind like we did. Ian Maatson laid it up for Jackson there. Finish. Fantastic 1v1. We need to start creating those chances, but we also need to get numbers in the box. I think if Enzo's playing in that role, who is getting into the box would be my question. And I don't know. Is it Enzo? Do we want to cross into those two? So that would apply to a lot of people playing that position, really. Maatson, who is going to be in the box with Jackson, apart from the opposite winger, who's not going to be confident either going in those areas.
No, it's true. This is why it goes back to the shape and how we've been setting up. You go to a back 3 or a back 5, which is actually correct. There's a couple of in the comments going, it's technically a back 5, and I'm like, no, you know what, you're right, because they are defenders. When you think about it, it's taking away the numbers that we need central. And getting Jackson involved, like in the same way we were linking up in preseason and filling those spaces and closing those gaps, moving as an entire block going forward and having enough numbers, we were able to link up with tons of players and move the ball around the box, and then pull off the shots and the chances that we had. We had unlimited amounts in this system, and this way we're playing. We're just not. This is why we have to turn away from the back 3 or back 5. It's because of this. When we turn in terms of who we're going to play in the 10, having a 4-3-3, for example, and having the 2 8s does compensate for not having a 10. You have 2 8s that move forward and can work together to fill in that space. I can understand. However, yeah, with Lavia not being ready yet, how do we do that? Is Maatsen right now? Look, without Chukwuemeka, without Nkunku, the only guy I can think of that has some sort of capability in playing the 10 is Maatsen. I don't see anyone else. So for Luton, and this is why I'm saying against Luton, we can afford to take that risk and try. And I think we would pull it off. I honestly feel against Luton, we would pull it off. Now, I do want to stress, don't write off Luton and just think that we're playing some sort of League 2 side here. We're not. They're coming with nothing to lose. And that can be the most dangerous team you can play against. But in terms of level, we should be able to take a risk like that and pull it off. We should be able to. So... yeah, that's where I think we stand in terms of the 10, and the system. I think is the most important thing. Go back to what worked in preseason. If we don't do that, I think we're going to be seeing the same traits that we've seen the last 2 games.
Yeah, true.
Is anybody here in favor of last night? There was a little bit of an implosion, but it was kind of softened by Fabrizio's tweet, even though it wasn't completely ruled out. Anybody here? Yeah, anybody here bringing Lukaku back into the team?
Hell no.
No. Not a word.
I just want to test you guys. Whether you're
taking.
a bit weaker with the Lukaku situation. You need a striker who can get your goals.
No.
I'm not getting that weak to call back Lukaku. I'm getting weak, but I'm not getting that weak. I'd rather die before he comes into the team.
That's exactly
what I mean.
No. I put last night. I'd rather Kepa goes up top than Lukaku.
But I am worried though. I am worried that Al Hilal has backed off, so there is no Saudi Arabia anymore.
There won't be a Saudi.
We had that card, that Saudi card. They're gone. That even Saudi has moved away from this brother now. So who next? If this guy doesn't find a club, because if Saudi's closed, then he's literally got what 6-7 days or whatever.
Strasbourg on loan.
Yeah.
Look, he's got to have to want it, right? He's got to have to.
We're still paying a salary here, exactly, and he needs to be able to want to stay, which he doesn't.
Yeah. I'm worried if he sticks around, that Di Marzio tweet might become true because we're looking for a striker. He's a striker. He's our striker. He's employed by us. Poch be like, just get me that creative winger, and then say goodbye to Mason Burstow. And bring in Lukaku in the bench. We'll take it from there. I'm just worried about that scenario. So that's another potential ugly situation brewing just around the corner for us.
And then he'll come into the team, score 3 goals, kiss the badge again, do like this, and then come December he'll give another interview, like
That's
why
crazy.
he's
Some
not.
people
He wants to be the number 1. Why he's better than Jackson and all of this.
Mate.
I've never seen an unhappy Lukaku perform. That's not how Lukaku's wired. You get some people that are not happy maybe and they perform even better because they're angry. Say Wayne Rooney has the argument with the referee, smashes it into the top corner with a volley, right? Hands in transfer requests at Man United, still produces incredible performances. Lukaku just does not play well when he is not happy where he is. That is on record. That's a consistent theme. And this assumption that he's necessarily going to score because he's Lukaku is just false. He didn't score loads of goals before when he was with us because the team wasn't set up well for him. And my thing is when I'm looking at the traits that Jackson's brought to the team, the good traits that Jackson's brought to the team, just because he hasn't scored doesn't mean he hasn't been very good for us in terms of his hold-up play, his link-up play. It's helping us create chances. It's helping us sustain attacks. You take him out and you put Lukaku in, you're not getting the same volume of attacks that you were getting with Jackson. It's just not possible. He's going to kill a lot more attacks. So now you're asking him to take more chances, which he should, but he doesn't want to be here. So for me personally, it's a complete non-starter. And I think if we kept him and we started playing him, not only have we shown that we have absolutely no kind of consistency in our thought process in terms of what we want to do, because we want people to press from the front, right? That's why we're not going after Turkey, because we want someone who's going to work hard off the ball, that's going to press. Lukaku doesn't do that. You can't even rely upon Lukaku to stay consistently fit for a season. His diet is fluctuating constantly. So that would be inconsistent again. The manager's already said that, listen, I'm not speaking with him because he doesn't want to be here. So that would be going back on that. And again, it's not because anybody's changed their mind. It's not because, oh, suddenly he's just, oh, it's only a week to go. I still haven't got a club. Do you know what? Maybe I do want to stay at Chelsea. No. No. Don't be so naive to think that with a week to go, with nobody interested in him, he's going to change his, oh, yes, I want to stay at Chelsea now. It's because he has nowhere to go. But that is not a good reason to keep someone because they have nowhere to go. Take it into real life relationship. If you have had a situation with a girl, it's not been going well for a couple of years. They've been jetting off to Italy multiple times to get away from the home. And now suddenly they're back. They come banging on the door, 3 a.m. They're back in the UK over the summer. And they're disturbing the household and to the point where you're having to sleep in separate bedrooms. And you're like, listen, I don't want you to disturb the peace that I've put together in this house. So I'm going to leave you to the side. And you pick up your shit at some point and go. And then suddenly now you're like, actually, I've changed my mind. This situation is fantastic. We're gonna stay. This is perfect. Everybody's gonna stay in the one room, in the one house. This is suddenly gonna work miraculously, even though it's never worked previously.
I really hope that we convey to him that he's not going to get any minutes whatsoever, so that he takes his transfer situation seriously. It's Euro next season. I don't think so. He would want to head into Euros without any kind of matches under his belt, and he would need those minutes to be in that match fitness and that sharpness for Belgium. So the best to make out of this situation is you convey to him that you're not in the plans, get a club, move out, see you later.
Do you know what the big problem here is? It all comes down to finances. That's what it all comes down to. This brother's on some humongous wages, in excess of 300k. No other football club out there is willing to even pay him £50, let alone 300k per week. Do you know what I mean? So this is where he needs to compromise. If he does want to move, he'll have to take a massive wage cut. Can he do that with his lifestyle, with, I don't know, whatever things he's got going on in his life? Is he still with Megan Thee Stallion? She'll probably want a lot of money for this brother. Like, she ain't going to date someone who's earning $5,000 a week. Do you know what I mean? So, this is why we're in this mess. You don't pay. Like, you got to be so careful. This is why I'm very happy with the new structure that we've created. We've not been paying.
Malang Sarr is on 100k per week.
He can't attract. He can't attract either. Because who's paying Malang Sarr 100k, bro? Who? Like, no one. Only Chelsea fans know who Malang Sarr is. Ask any other fan base. They don't know who Malang Sarr is. But this guy, he's on 100k a week. So this is a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, we got Tayo A saying, "Miss, stop hating." Cancel this show, bro.
Ignore him.
But you know what? With
not a serious individual.
With Lukaku, it's very actually no. Like I always call him this guy. I don't think it's even worthy of mentioning his name right now. Like, the thing is, this guy, yeah. It's not even about the footballer anymore. This is the thing that people are not really looking at, or some people choose to not look at. And I'm like, how are you living your lives? But Matisse, you're correct in terms of the analogy that you gave. This has gone past in terms of what he can just do on the pitch. He does not care. He doesn't want to be here. He's already shown that he will stab us in the back. He stabbed into Milan in the back. Juventus have clocked onto that and gone, hell no, we're not getting you. Saudi have gone, all right, forget this guy. Mitrovic is the man. It's clear that this guy, in terms of even off the pitch as a person, is a problem. So if you are willing to allow that sort of person into your business or your club or your affairs or whatnot, you deserve pain. If after all of this, you go, nah, we should take him back, then if you suffer, good, you deserve it. You deserve it because you allowed that to happen. This is the thing. This goes beyond. He's not the only striker in the world. We will be fine. We've got a Jackson now. It's cool. I'd rather give all my attention to Jackson than allow Lukaku to come back in. Truth of the matter is, though, in terms of the situation of trying to get him gone, it's difficult because of all the points that I just mentioned. Why do you think there's no suitors? Because they've all clocked onto the sort of person that he is and that he's shown to be. He's not just a mercenary. What's the next level of mercenary? Because at least a mercenary just does the job when he's paid to do so. You know, no matter what it is, you're a mercenary. Can you go and do that and that, or go and kill that guy? No problem. How much am I getting? Cool, I will execute it for you. This guy doesn't even execute it. So this is where we're stuck, and we can't get rid of him. I can only think, if worse comes to worse, what's the implications of just terminating his contract? Like, can we actually do that?
We'd have to pay that contract out. So he's got
We'd have to
3
pay the
years
whole
left.
contract out.
Yeah, so
I
3
don't.
years
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
at
that. I'd let-
300 plus K.
That would
would-
reflect in your FFP calculations.
yeah,
And
I
not
would-
just that,
Oh,
terminating the contract, you don't get to monetize that fee anymore. So that fee, you got to now pay that. Like
I wouldn't do
that goes straight into your books.
honestly, leave him in the reserves. Leave him in the reserves. There's no report that's come out to
that's
say
the best that we
there's,
can do.
there's no report that's come out to say if we don't sell Lukaku, we're going to be in breach of FFP. Everybody's saying we can't afford to keep him in the reserves. Why not? Why not? I've seen players before Carlos Tevez go golfing and leave Man City for half a season. They were still paying him, or maybe they weren't. But listen, when it comes down to Lukaku at this point, I've not seen any report to say we absolutely have to get rid. We've made a lot of money this summer. So for me, I would leave him in the reserves because at least then he's not getting exactly what he wants, which is he wants his contract to be terminated. He wants his contract to be terminated so then he can just go off and have complete freedom. No. You're going to engineer a move for yourself or you're going to sit in the reserves. 100% you're going to sit in the reserves. And you're not going to play any competitive football. You're going to train on your own for a whole season, and that's it. You're not playing any matches. You're not even playing in the reserves.
I'd even tell us to stay at home.
Yeah,
Go and train on your
100%.
own. We'll send a trainer to you.
Yeah, 100%. Even do that.
Don't come to Cobham.
And see who blinks first.
Yeah.
Look, completely understand that sentiment, and I would love to do that from a fan standpoint. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's absolutely make sure this guy forgets about how to play football. Do you know what I mean? At the end of this whole thing, he forgets. He doesn't remember how to play football anymore. But business doesn't operate like that. That's the issue, Matisse. Like Bowley and the board will know that's burnt money. That's literally money going down in the drains. This is why our board is asking him as well. Like, you know, we had Saudis. Like, I thought Juventus were after you. What is with all this? Oh, but you have to take Vlahovic. Why you want to put one thing to the other? Like, do you want Lukaku or not? I don't want Vlahovic. Do you want Lukaku? Take Lukaku if you want him. Don't talk to me about Vlahovic yet. Then he screwed up with Inter when we finally struck a deal with them. We finally struck a deal, and then Inter is calling Inter Milan manager telling, Lautaro Martinez to call this brother. He's not even picking up Martinez's phone.
Exactly.
He went to his wedding.
People forget all this.
But the guy went to his wedding. He's not
Exactly.
picking up his phone. So, Chelsea are trying to do the level best because it will hurt financially Chelsea that if we were to just keep him in the reserves, no problems. Yeah, we screw you. But we are hurting financially. The best solution here is, brother, find a move. Please.
For sure, 100%. 100%.
Find the move.
But if he doesn't find the move, you don't find your way into the first team. We are not going to reward you because you've disrespected the club, don't want to be here, and because now we couldn't find a move for you, we're going to reward you with a first team place. It is a privilege to play in the first team. Let's not forget that. It's a privilege to represent Chelsea. He does not deserve that privilege. And if anybody's got any self-respect in the comments, Iceman, anybody actually has any sort of respect for their club, you wouldn't be asking for this guy to come and play for you again. Give him another opportunity. How many more opportunities do you want? Go and have your other opportunity
100%.
elsewhere at another club. You're lucky to even be thinking that you can still play in Europe the way that you've been moving. And at this current moment, no one's even interested. Why is nobody interested? There's a reason for that. And the thing is as well is that when you take a look at what we're trying to build, everybody last season couldn't stop complaining about, oh, I don't like this squad. It's not very likable. They don't care. They don't want to be here. Oh, we've got so many mercenaries. Havertz, Mount, right? Everybody was flapping their gums about these guys. Oh, but now you want to bring back the biggest mercenary of them all. The one that really told you in 5 different languages, he does not want to be here. He does not care. And you want to put that into the first 11 because you need goals. Make that make sense. Goals that are not guaranteed to come anyway, because he's gone on plenty of droughts before. At Inter Milan last season, he only started to play towards the back end of the season. The whole 60-70% of the season, he was unfit and he was on the bench for Edin Dzeko. Exactly. But nobody wants to talk about it. And that was at the club that he loved. He went there, he got exactly what he wanted. He went back to that club and was benched by a 37-year-old because he was unfit, but he's going to put the work in for us.
He hasn't
Give it
even
a
had a
rest.
preseason, right? He hasn't even had a
Come on, man.
preseason. So
Crazy, no chance. But
although I do want to say, because this whole debate on Lukaku and whatnot, apparently Chelsea and Poch are adamant, like, no, he doesn't want to be here. We're cutting ties. Like
They
that
better
seems
be.
to be the way that it's actually going. So I hope. Cool.
I hope so.
let's hope they don't flip flop on that. Humphreys must start over disaster. I feel sorry for Decisive, man. It's only been a couple games.
It's just coming.
Allow him, man.
Did not have a preseason also, man. Come on.
Exactly. He didn't play in our preseason.
Even Thiago Silva committed a blunder in his first ever Premier League
Exactly.
game against
I was
West
gonna
Brom.
say, yeah.
Thiago Silva had a blunder in the West Ham game. He is also at fault for that goal. He was literally playing musical statues. I know people love Thiago Silva. They don't want to say anything, but Thiago Silva was also part of the reason why we conceded that goal. He was not involved in any phase, not the first part, not the second part, not any of it. He was just literally invisible in that whole situation. Get Cherky in and put the trophy in the cabinet. Oh, dearie me. In my opinion, Poch needs to fix up first if he dares bring back Lukaku. If he brings back Lukaku, I'm not going to lie. I'll just be like, cool, whatever happens here, happens. If you fall by the sword and he betrays you in your first season and fucks up the whole squad dynamics and team morale, then you deserve whatever's coming to you. We deserve, as a football club, whatever's coming to us. If we bring him back and it doesn't work and he fucks, bruv, everybody can hold that. I don't even care. At this point, everybody can hold that because you're just not learning from mistakes. So I wouldn't even care anymore. I wouldn't even feel sorry for us. Honestly, I would actually be like, you know what? Fair enough. That's what you get. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Now that Kudus
you want to find out? Don't fuck around.
Fuck around, find out. Fuck around, you find out.
Find out.
Go for it. Because people think that I said this when he came in. The one decision I will not defend is bringing Lukaku back into this team. I won't. I can put up with, okay, you want to use Gallagher. I can understand why you'd want to use Gallagher. I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I have my own preference, but cool, no problem. I can give Gallagher a chance. Of course I can. I can give anybody a chance in this team. But there's few things I'm not bending on, and this is one of them. There's a line. I'm not crossing. This is a line I will not cross. I don't care who makes this decision. If you make this decision and it proves to be exactly what I've said it would be, then good luck to you.
I said this last night when the whole thing came out, and I put it on Twitter. I was like, look, basically, don't be an Adam 22. Just don't. Don't. Whatever you do, and the same applies here for Chelsea, just don't be that guy. So we're not that guy.
One thing people need to realize, just because Matisse backed Pochettino, that doesn't mean Matisse is blind, right? I know sometimes he claims to be blind, but he's not. All right, he's got glasses on.
They work.
We all have our limits. We back the guy, no problems. But you consistently keep doing the wrong things. Well, we're not stupid. There will come a point where we'd be like, "What are you doing?"
If he started playing Thiago Silva up front and we lost 5 games in a row, and he wouldn't stop playing Thiago Silva up front, we wouldn't sit here. We wouldn't sit here and be like, "Oh, but we back Poch, so it doesn't matter." No, this whole back the manager thing. This whole sentence, it doesn't make any sense. Because it means that you are ready to blindly back him until the day he's sacked. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for anyone. I don't care what manager you are. If Pep did that, 10 games he lost in a row, and he kept playing John Stones up front, people would start to turn on him, 100%. They'd be like, why are you playing John Stones up front? There is no human on this planet that can do whatever they want, and nobody can find any sort of logic like explanation to it, and you just blindly back them. I can't think of anybody that I would blindly back on this earth to just consistently do things that I would be like, why are you doing that? Keep getting the wrong results via doing it, and then I'd be like, I still blindly back you. There isn't a person on the planet. It just doesn't exist. I wouldn't even, if I'm not going to blindly back like my own family members, why would I blindly back Poch?
I was just going to say,
do you think this is a cult?
Wait, honestly, if one of our friends kept on harassing and insulting us on a regular basis, brother, you're not my friend anymore. Like, there'll come a point I'd be like, guys, see you later. You're no longer my friend. So that's the same policy, with anything in life. So with management, a couple of matches in a row now, we've seen some weird lineups. Yeah, we can all justify it to a certain degree, but it's nonetheless weird. You carry this on too many times, and the points are not coming to sort of match up with your lineups. You best believe we are going to start getting a bit annoyed. Now, that doesn't mean out. That just means that you're going to now hear some voice to fix up. So that's how life works.
And in terms of the situation at the moment, after these past two games, I agree with Drogbaba on this. I think in terms of how we move forward and bringing some rationale and some logic, we don't want to see some of the traits we saw in that second half against West Ham. Like again, because that was
100%.
very reminiscent of last season. That can't happen. There has to be a standard this season that we are not going below. Last season was a shambles. We ain't going back into the trenches. So it's a case of, I think, first 5 games of the season, get the team to set a tone. If within those first 5 games, like we've already had 2, we've got another 3, we start to see things improve and we're heading in a direction and we start picking up points and wins, and cool. If after 5 games we're still in this situation, I'll begin to start questioning where are we heading, what's going on. And I think that's fair because it's
very winnable
early.
games.
We've only just started, and they're all very winnable games. So yeah, I think let's not call it doomsday. It's not doomsday yet.
No. My confidence is still. I'm not gonna lie. My confidence is still very, very high.
Yeah. I think we'll get there.
Maybe naive, I don't know, but I'm still very confident. I feel like there has been some teething problems, but I feel we are a bit unlucky to have 2 players go down in the same position, and that is like the fulcrum, the epicenter of the whole system is the 10. So we just need to replace that person correctly. We've been looking at the market. I don't know what we're potentially moving for. Who do you guys want in that 10? Because with what's available left, and I don't know if Poch really wants the player. It doesn't seem like he does. I don't know. But with what's left, I want Cherky. I can't lie. I'm trying to think of, obviously, João Felix is another name that comes up. I think I keep saying I feel like João Felix's time last season was a lot.
João Felix will not come because
it won't happen. Exactly.
Yeah, Pochettino is from Bielsa School of Management. Hence, he likes Gallagher. Hence, I don't see Lukaku coming back into the team. Hence, he was not in for João Felix because his off-the-ball work is not there.
And therefore, he won't be in for Cherky probably.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Because I like these type of players. I know off the ball, he doesn't give everything, as Potter would say, but he's a very unique type of talent. So who are we going to get in this position? Because we didn't go for...
I think he plays there till we have any other option. Gallagher and Caicedo, till the time Lavia is integrated into the team.
Just use what we have.
Just play Martin for the time being. I mean, from the market...
Martin is also not...
From the market, Cherky would have been a good shout. Of course, we all wanted that. But honestly, I didn't see Fabrizio or David Ornstein ever talk about Cherky. I saw Bobby Vincent, Jacob Steinberg, maybe. I don't know. But it's the sort of like the second batch of the journalists talking about it. Fabrizio and David Ornstein has never spoken about Cherky to Chelsea or any sort of links, right? Fabrizio recently has started talking about Bradley Bacola. So, but he's not really a 10. He's more of a creative winger. Kudus would have been nice, but he's now going to West Ham. We're now left with, João Felix would have been a good shout, but he ain't coming here. He's already made it categorically clear he wants Barcelona. He would have liked, at one stage, maybe he would have come here, but I think Poch made it quite clear he doesn't want him. So right now, just use Martin.
Do we have to reflect as a club and be like, do you know what? We always think that we have to go into the market to solve our problems. And we do that every single time. We've bought a lot of players already. I think actually, listen, I would prefer to bring someone in, but I understand your train of thought, which is actually, let's actually just use what we have. We need to actually train and coach what we have. We have Ian Maatsen. We have Ian Maatsen who played there a bit in preseason. We have Andre Santos, who potentially could play there if we were to coach him, because he's shown that he can play in any midfield position. We just had decided that he would play the deepest one. We have deep midfielders now, so why not train and coach him to play there? give him some opportunities, and work with what we have, because those players, they didn't die. They will be coming back.
Yes.
They will be coming back. But is it a risk? I mean, Felix, people are saying on loan. Like I said, I don't think his time at Chelsea was as bad as people made it out to be. I think he was kind of unlucky in a lot of instances. And if those moments were, a fraction of a few hairs either way of the post, then suddenly people are bowing down to him, being like, look at this incredible performance after performance after performance. But then off the ball, like Baba said, he's a liability. And this is why I haven't really brought him up too much, because I know that off the ball, Poch is not gonna go for him, and I understand that. It's not a problem with that. But what are we gonna do in this position? Is it just gonna be Gallagher or bust, Younes, or what's the idea here? Or do we just go over 3-man midfield? The thing is with the 3-man midfield though, is that you then are asking your wingers to contribute with goals, and
100%.
They're not goal scoring wingers,
but they should be. Like a Mudryk, for example, should be. That's the sort of thing we expect. So realistically, in terms of how we want to set up and move forward, we should at some point, sooner rather than later, try and start incorporating that, because realistically, we can't just expect the striker to score all the goals. That's not going to happen. But the 2-8, I'll be honest, I think it's only right to wait when Lavia is ready to go completely, and then I feel we have a full balance of Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo in order to fill that midfield three. I think that would be class. But yeah, in terms of the 10, but my gut tells me to just go for Luton, just for that game, and then see what happens after, is to try and stick Ian Maatsen in that role.
Yeah,
because we didn't know that we had someone as versatile as Ian Maatsen until pre-season, when he showed he can play there and can link up and can move correctly, can create, is quick on his feet. We didn't think that was the case, but it is. So yeah, I wouldn't see why we can't do that and try and incorporate what worked in pre-season. Against a team like Luton, we should be able to execute it. So I would do that. Gallagher in the 10. I know some people have called for Gallagher in the 10. It goes back to my point. I think physically, in terms of a press, in terms of being able to shift the ball, he can do that. But you got to be creative, and you got to be technical, and you got to be quick on your feet. And I just don't think he is. He's not quick enough.
He's not.
Or he's not, or technical enough. Or you get him into a tight space, he's got two defenders, get out of the situation. Chances are he's losing the ball.
So actually, very rarely he will get out of that situation.
He won't. Exactly.
He will lose the ball.
He's not press resistant whatsoever. He will 9 times out of 10 he will lose the ball in that situation.
That's
more than you can believe.
He ain't nutmegging someone and getting past that and then opening up the game. That is just not happening. That's not happening.
Exactly. So this is why I can't play him in the 10. I just can't. So
he also, for me, can't play in the double pivot now, but that we have Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo. I'd have him as fourth choice behind those guys.
He can't.
No. And even in the double pivot, defensively, he's shown traits that I don't think we really anticipated. And he can, be quite effective defensively.
Sending Angelo Gabriel on loan was not a wise move, because he could have played that.
This is the thing. It turns to the point, who are we getting in before the window ends?
He could have played in the 10.
I think he could have as well, to be honest.
He done it once in pre-season where he linked up with
yes.
Yep. He linked up with Jackson.
His pass for
quite a few passes. He linked up with Moreira, Jackson, Maatsen. He was sort of 1-2.
I don't know why we are looking for that option. He is our answer to that player who can play as a wide and a number 10.
He's gone on loan, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it was a nice position for him, because you had Madueke, Sterling, Mudryk, and then you had him. So he was like your fourth option. But there was, there will be game time there. Madueke was injured for preseason. He's only just coming back.
Yeah.
And I've got, I don't know. I'm with Madueke. I'm obviously he's only just come back from injury, so I don't want to really judge his performance too much. But part of me also wants to see him on the left wing a little bit, just as a pure touchline winger, get the ball in and cross. Because I feel like every single time I see Madueke now, it's always on the right wing and it's always cutting in, and his finishing is not polished enough. And when he goes to his right, on his right foot, his passing and his decision is weak and it's scuffy. Whereas if you just played him on the left, like a Leroy Sané type player, asked him to hold the width and just work on that crossing and just get those good deliveries in. I'm not even talking about aerial hit as well. I'm just talking about cutbacks. If you play him on that left, you can. He's on his favored foot for those cutbacks, and then suddenly he might be able to be quite useful from a chance creation standpoint.
And you know what, Matisse? I actually, after watching that match against West Ham, Sterling obviously was the standout. Like for me, he was very, very good all throughout the game. The artillery that Sterling has from that right side is he can straighten up and go direct and really pierce a hole straight through the defense, or he'll drop a shoulder and he'll go to the byline and he'll cut it back in for Jackson, which he missed, right? And there was another dribble that he went straight through the heart of West Ham's defense, didn't materialize into a goal. So I like that attribute of Sterling on the right side, whereas when Sterling's on the left, it's always going to be cut back in, right? Cut back in, because Sterling's not going to use his left foot.
You can still take those shots if you make those Chilwell runs. We've seen if Chilwell can get shooting opportunities from left back and Marcus Alonso can get shooting opportunities from left wing back, why can a left-footed winger not get those same shooting opportunities?
100% he can.
We saw Leroy
100%.
Sané, cutting across the ball into the far corner multiple times for Man City on that left-hand side as a left-footed winger. Why can Madueke not be coached to do similar instead of constantly being, because he's very predictable on that right-hand side. We know really what's going to end up
back in.
He's going to cut back in, or he's going to go to the byline. It's going to be a pretty scuffed right-footed attempt at a cutback. So, or he's going to constantly keep trying to come back on his left foot. But I don't know. That's just a variation or something different that I'd ideally like to see. If he was a good shooter from distance, then fair enough. But he's not.
Our
really
problem on that left side now is the fact that Chilwell is not inverted. That's an issue. It's a mad issue for us. For him not being inverted, it kind of screws up our winger, whoever it's going to be on that side. Because that winger is going to want to, unless if that winger was someone who was comfortable to play in the half spaces more as an inside 10, right? Which I think Sterling can do. And Sterling on the turn can take the ball and turn and drive. But, players like your Madueke, players like your Mudryks, they want to be the furthest and the widest guy on that left side. And if Chilwell is there as well, you got two brothers now touching the ball.
Yeah.
So it's going to look weird. So either Chilwell starts getting coached to come in and allowing that straight passage to the winger, or Chilwell's the furthest forward and you put in another midfielder type of a player. Do you know what I mean?
But this goes back to the point of what we saw in preseason. We were seeing this in preseason. Remember, Reece James was inverting. We had Chilwell inverting. Then at the same time, whenever they were going on the overlap, we had Moreira, whoever's on the wing, coming inside. And we were like, oh, wow, great. This is what we wanted to see. Fantastic. And we've done that quite a few times in preseason. Now we're here. We ain't seeing it. So it goes back to the point. We have to go back to what we were doing in preseason because that was great. That was great. Use that and work with that, and let's try and develop that, because that's what we were doing and it was looking good. And not to say that it's the be all and end all because it's preseason. I understand that. But take it, work it, develop it, and let's move. That is, for me, the way forward. But we've not done it the last 2 games. So that's where I think we need to just go back to basics, go back to what we were doing.
Yeah. This super chat says, what's the point of Madueke playing left wing when we don't have a striker who can head the ball? I don't want to have to introduce you guys again, but there's this striker called Taremi at Porto. And I've been talking about it more and more recently. And if you need a option in this team that can score goals, because Borja is just coming back, but has also played in a front 2 that can head the ball, that is experienced and won't go on an 8-9 year contract, that is low wages, that his contract is running out next year, that has scored 20 plus goals in his last 3 years, that has Champions League experience. This is the fucking guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting very high on this Taremi supply, bruv. You see this guy? He's a good footballer. And he's another, us, isn't he? And he's another option. Exactly. And then when you are getting crosses into the box, he can actually win the ball in the air. His aerial dual success rate is actually slightly higher than Haaland's, way higher than Jackson at 30%, and way higher than who was the other option we was looking at there? Balogun at 20%. And I don't think Broja is particularly special in the air either. People are saying he doesn't fit us. Listen, it's just an opinion. But I feel like this could be a very shrewd move. You remember when we signed kind of Giroud and there wasn't a lot of hype there? And rightly so, there wasn't a lot of hype. You know, he was the Morocco striker El Nasri cannot shoot with his feet. I can't be dealing with him. I've watched him too much.
He can't shoot with his
this
feet.
brother can't shoot with his He's immense in the air.
He's immense in the air, but he's a beast in the air.
He's one of those strikers on Football Manager that have like 9 finishing
He's
and like
Ronaldo
20
in
heading.
the air.
Yeah.
All his goals I've ever seen were
but I can't have a striker that can't shoot with his feet. I can't have
I'm looking at Taremi, 31, so you
Wasn't he
get the
meant to leave?
experience.
Wasn't Taremi heading somewhere?
Well,
no, Taremi's been linked with AC Milan. He's been linked with Tottenham, and he's not moved yet.
Taremi, 31, so you've got that experience that we, lack in our team. As Matisse said, he's got ample amount of experience in the Champions League. Yep, years and years. His contract is running out next season, so he's got one more year left. I mean,
we're leaving it for. Look at his injury record as well.
It's probably good as well. I don't think he's been injured.
Spotless, bro.
Let me just have a look at his injury record.
He's not been injured ever.
Oh, well, why not a loan, right? Look, he's never been like last time he was
his
injured.
Contract's run now. They won't take a loan,
bro. 21
Look at the
days.
green.
Yeah, 21 days he's been injured back in 1920 and 21-22, 5 days. This brother, injuries are scared of him. Do you know what I mean? So
22 goals last year, 7 assists.
Why not alone?
The year before, 12 assists. Bro, he gets assists, bro. That's what people don't get. This guy got double digits for assists the last 2 seasons before the last one. The last one was 7. The season before was 12. The season before was 11. And that's whilst hitting double digits in goals, 16, 20, and 22. And playing almost every game as well. But because he'd be making a massive step up, I don't think he'd demand to start every game.
He wouldn't demand.
But the thing is, bro, he's played in front twos. You know, he's played he's played left wing for Porto at times. So he's played in a front two. I honestly think the guy is a very good player. He's a very good player from what I can see, bro. I really can't see much faults. I'm not gonna lie in bringing somebody in. I know it's not happening because he's 31 and we like to sign 22-year-olds. But I'm like, bro,
22.
You know why we won't sign a 31-year-old? Because we can't give him a 8-year contract.
Bro, but
because by the time he comes 39,
bro, that's what I'm saying. I don't. You know what the worst thing would be is to go and get a Balogun who's like good but not great and scores his goals. Let's be honest, in a team that was very much on the back foot for a lot of last season. It was basically a one-man attack, so a lot of his goals were in transition on a counter. Very similar to Timo Werner, even though I don't think he's technically as poor as him. And then sign him up to an 8-year deal. I'm tired of the 8-year deals. We have enough players on 8-year deals. At some point, they're all going to be on 8-year deals, and that means don't go anywhere because you either are flop and nobody wants you, and you're on good money, or you do very well. But bro, having everyone on 8-year deals is actually scary. It's good for Enzo Fernandez. It's great. It's great for Caicedo. It's great for the players that we really truly believe are going to be top players. But on Balagans,
but even Mudryk to a certain degree, I'll have to say,
it's not
like,
really
are you an 80 kind of contract player? Mudryk's verdict is still out there as well.
I get it. We did it for financial reasons, but can we stop now? Do you
know what I mean? Like we get to year 2030 and the board are like, okay, we've got 18 contract negotiations we got to go through now, like just to get everyone back signed on. With Balogun, you know what's mad? I've done some digging into Balogun and his goal return and all of that, and 50 million for me is still steep. But it's hard to determine just what sort of player he might actually become. The reason that some people are saying why Arsenal haven't actually used him or are happy to sell him is the same reasons we're happy to sell some of our players, and it's just FFP. And they need to actually balance their books at Arsenal because their net spend is a bit all over the place at the moment. But he's pure profit. And it's the same reason why we've let go of Lewis Hall, for example, pure profit. But when you look at what Balogun's done, at first I was like, Balogun? I started looking at what he's actually done in terms of his average over how many games is it? Like 100 and 150 games, I think, or something like that. He's got like 85 goals or something like that. And I'm like, that's actually decent. It's actually decent. And 4th highest goal scorer in Liga. I'm intrigued, but 50 million is still a bit steep. I wouldn't pay 50.
Younes, I've been checking out some of his highlights from last season in Liga. He's actually a very decent player, man. Like, for a young player to show that level of talent, as you said, Younes, that you don't know where he could be going. Like, where's that trajectory
It's unpredictable, yeah.
It's very unpredictable. It could absolutely explode and become monstrous,
It
or
could be a flop.
it could
But
be
we
a
have so
flop.
many of those players that could
Of
explode.
course.
Like
Of course.
we signed Washington. We signed Fofana,
Of
could
course.
explode at Union Berlin this season. We signed Jackson. We have Broya, who Poch likes, who's going to keep, it seems.
True talk. Yeah.
All these players could explode. Like you said, could like explode, you know, but at the same time, we need like someone who's just going to potentially just be a steady Eddie.
Yeah. see, with those players, Matisse, the gamble was worth it. You know what I mean? The price was adequate.
Exactly. But bro, when you spend 50 million,
that ain't no gamble.
That's not a gamble, bro. You're not making a profit on 50 if he doesn't do well. That's like a 50 million for a player is like, that's the sweet spot in the sense of it wasn't 80 or 90, but it was a significant enough amount for it to be like, you're staying here in this first team and you must deliver. Because if you don't deliver, you're not making that. You're not making 60. You're not getting 70. You're getting maybe 20, maybe 25. So you're taking a loss on this player if he does not work out. The other ones for your 15, 20, you know, you can loan those out and you can build up their value. You can't really build up value on 50 million. 50 million is a serious, significant kind of investment. It's not a joke investment. That's Fernando Torres money right there. So for me personally, it's just too much to pay for very much the same type of hope he explodes when we have enough of those strikers anyway. At
30 million, I would have entertained that. I would have said, you know what, that's good competition for Nicholas Jackson, 2 youngsters fighting it out, no problems. Because we don't know what the future holds for Broya and, you know, David Fofana, obviously in Union Berlin. So no problems, do that. At 50 million, I think it's ridiculous level of investment. And 50 million is, we are talking about it. Arsenal are paying, saying if it's someone within Premier League, and especially if it's Chelsea, that's a different price for you.
Yeah,
of course. This is the thing. This is where 50 has been touted, because I think they would happily sell for less, but because it's a direct rival, it's Chelsea.
Of course,
50 minimum.
Of course.
And I can't blame them for that. We probably do the same thing.
It'd be weird if they didn't do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But all the players that we're getting in, you best believe 2028 quadruple winners. Wait for it.
Man can't even get ahead of Nketiah and you lot want him wearing them. No, I mean, listen, like I said, for me, it's like if you're going to sign a young talent, if they're elite talent, then obviously you're willing to pay the crazy prices, right? For top tier, elite level young talent. And then if you're not going for those guys, then you're going for the guys that are unknown, really low price, and you're doing your due diligence. Balogun is neither. He's known, but he's not elite. So now he's drifting in this 50 million price range. And I'm like, is that really where we're meant to be shopping? Not really. If you're shopping in this area now, you may as well get someone who's like giving you guarantees. Which
add a few more and you're ready to get someone in proper. Yeah,
exactly. You may as well just add on an extra 10, 15 and get someone serious. So I don't know. It's an interesting one.
All of these striker talks that you guys all been doing kind of circles back to what you said to start the show off. And I've just been thinking about that against Luton. We need more bodies in the box. We really do, bro. It cannot just be Nicholas Jackson there with 3 or 2 other defenders.
Yeah.
And we're going to be hoping to cross the ball in and we're going to hope that he's going to score. That is a low percentage game. The reason why Liverpool bangs in so many goals is because they rush. They rush the goals. They absolutely rush it. The reason why Man City score a lot of goals as well, obviously there's Haaland, but they also rush the goals too. This season different. They'll find their mojo very soon. Last season, we've seen the season's gone by how Man City absolutely piles up the box. If we don't pile up the box, and this is why, honestly, I'm scared, but I'm going to have to give you guys a breaking news. I think Chilwell will probably start as the widest so that Poch
So he's
can
in the
have
box.
more people centrally close to Jackson. So if you have Mudryk won't even start, but if you have I don't know, Mudryk or something, he's going to want to hug the touchline. So he's not going to be near the box.
Mhm.
So and if we play with the 2-man midfield, Enzo and Caicedo are now both going to be crashing into the box, right?
Yeah.
You're going to probably want one of them to do that. The other one will have to stay back.
You don't even really want either of them crashing into the box.
True.
None of them
you
are
probably
really.
don't.
None of them are box crashers, really.
They're not. They're not.
You know, I don't
I
want to
have a-
see Caicedo in the box. I don't want to see really Enzo even in the box. To be honest, I want to see him outside of the box, just outside the box.
I have a question,
cut
Miss.
pieces.
Miss, I have a question. You
Hmm.
just said you don't think Mudryk will start. I also don't think he'll start. It's been 17 games he has played. He has played 17 Premier League games for Chelsea, and not
Hmm.
once he started, or if he started, he's not completed 90 minutes.
Hmm.
So, do you think he's not training well, or is it down to management, or
Has to be a
feedback?
reason. Yeah, I agree.
Do you know
Because
what?
17 games, if you're not able to complete 90 minutes once, there has to be
Mhm.
some issue.
Bro, I've been saying that few times, little bit here and there on my videos lately, that there has to be a reason why this brother can't start or can't finish a 90 minutes,
Hmm.
because either the coaches see him in training and they think he's not following the instructions as the coach wants the game to be played out. He's not disciplined enough, maybe, to carry out the instructions, or he just doesn't have that mindset, that killer mindset to take that responsibility on field. He may have the killer mindset to work hard and train hard and stay fit, but that doesn't mean he's got the sharpness to carry it all out in the game. You don't need muscles necessarily for games. You need also brain. So I don't know. I don't know about the lads. There has to be something wrong, right? That why can't he start?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've noticed that pattern and I've seen the statistics, but I have no idea why. And until somebody says maybe Poch comes out, it'd be great if some clarification, if somebody could come out. It's obviously not just Poch, it's obviously the former manager as well. But I'd love someone to say what the reason is.
When I read the comments, he's a bum, he's not good enough. That's oversimplifying it. I want to, get into the depth of it.
He's not a bum.
Yeah.
He's not a bum.
He's not a bum.
We need an explanation from coaching from the coaching team, ideally. Nico Barella from Inter, not for me.
Why do you want to deal with Inter again? Like,
There's some
What's the
clubs we
point?
don't
By the
turn
way,
back
playing
to.
left wing. Yeah, we read this one out already.
Inter
Like I
and
said,
Brighton,
Remy,
it's done. It's done. Inter and Brighton, it's done.
Inter and
if
Brighton,
you want a second striker / someone who can give you extra striker depth, like I said, and then you just give the advanced roles to an Enzo, because really what you're doing by that is you're saying Enzo can get forward, but you're not telling him he has to be in the box. You're giving that role to Taremi. I'm just saying. And then you've
Terem's
got,
a good shout, bro.
I think for me that is my shout now. Younes thought Taremi scored in 1920.
I did, yeah. I
was
was like 1920.
Yeah, he scored against us in the Champions League.
He did, yeah.
When's Younes
yeah.
visiting Cobham again? We need him to get info on how the players are training again.
It depends. If there's an active sponsor at the club that decides to get in touch, then great. If not, I ain't going.
Oh well, listen, we're gonna wrap up there, people, because I've got to head out. But Taremi, this is the answer. This is my answer to the problem. Now that we've lost Kudus and we're not looking at Turkey and we're not looking at anybody else really that I can see in the 10, that's my solution.
I do want to say before we wrap up, I've mentioned this, and I think I've got a feeling all of you might have seen this. Surely you've seen this, but with Jackson heading into this game against Luton, where he decided to put, about the whole, 2 times you failed, the 3rd time you rise, right? Cool. But if he does score against Luton, he will be scoring against a newly promoted side on his 3rd Premier League game.
Didier Drogba.
And that is exactly what Drogba did in 2004 against Crystal Palace. So
who's gonna be the Celestine Babayaro too? Who's gonna be the Celestine Babayaro? Who's gonna cross that ball?
That is it. Levi Colwell, maybe. I don't know. But if Jackson scores, it's time to have a party.
I'm captaining him in FPL, by the way, this week.
People are saying that Remy wants to move to AC Milan until the big dogs show up, and then he'll change his mind. Put the offer on the table first, and then we'll see who he wants to move to. Younes, let the people know where to find you. A pleasure as always.
Absolutely, man. Been a good one. I hope we get a good win tomorrow, and then the spirits can be lifted, and we can start looking forward and put the West Ham loss behind us. But yeah, all my thoughts and preview as well for that game that will be dropping later today will be on Younes Talks Football. And yeah, we'll see how everything goes and how it all shows up.
And Miz, let the people know where to find you. Bro, a pleasure.
Wow, I forgot about the preview. Wow, it's just around the corner, huh? The match Friday night, yeah. The other side of the coin, yeah, just I think about 20 away from 28,000. So let's get there, guys. Let's get to 28,000, and then the race to 30 continues. And yeah, just tune in for 2 pieces of content regularly. And Loan Watch, yeah, that's the other thing that I've been doing lately, trying to keep up with a whole heap of our loan players.
Miz, you look like you're contemplating life.
Bro, I'm worried, bro. I'm worried. I'm
Looking
worried.
in the distance, like,
Oh,
Yeah,
love
no, honestly, like my headspace has been so scrambled after that West Ham game. Like, I can't think straight. Like, I did not expect a loss. I really didn't. I really
Baba,
didn't.
let the people know where to find you. An absolute pleasure. I love it.
Drogbaba, we are just, let me check the exact count. Yeah, we are 352 subscribers away from 200K.
Wow.
So if you haven't subscribed,
banging.
yeah.
Wow.
Beast.
Damn.
So we might
Damn.
reach that.
as
Thank
Kevin
you,
Hart
thank
would say.
And I'm not getting offended at that damn. So yeah, please do the needful if you haven't subscribed. We'll be doing a Premier League preview tomorrow. And Neymar is coming to India, by the way. Al Hilal and Mumbai City FC have been drawn in the same group of the AFC Champions League.
Oh,
So,
quality.
wow.
So Neymar will be coming to Mumbai to play a game against Mumbai City FC.
You're going for
That's-
sure.
Yeah. I'm
course
going
he
to
is.
go. Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
massive,
and
That's
bro.
going to be chaos.
That's
yeah.
mad. The
And-
whole of India is just going to be, it's wild, bro. There's, how many people? 2 billion?
Close.
It's plenty.
It's a lot.
And
It's a lot.
Many.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, Miz.
See, the stadium in which the match is going to be, it's only a 12,000 capacity stadium. So I don't know
Don't worry,
how
there'll
it's.
be another 100,000
It's
outside.
going to be like 3 million, 4 million people outside the stadium. Easy.
Of course.
Flipping hell.
So
That's
it's
just the
going to be-
crowd. That's just the
Yeah.
crowd just walking around.
This-
I don't know. The team bus will reach on time at the stadium.
This was a final chat that got left for you as well.
So Werner couldn't. Give him some time, bro. Give him some time. Arsenal were willing to pay a good fee for him. So it's not like we were only after him. There's a player in there, and we had 3 managers last season, and it's a new team. So I'll give him some time.
Yeah. I'm going to give him some time, but also Liverpool wanted Werner, so God help us all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh, bad boy Matisse, bad boy.
And he would have banged, and he would have scored a lot of.
He would have. He probably would have.
He
Yeah.
would have killed it. He would have killed it over there.
Did you guys see where the Arsenal fans were like talking to him when he was in the car? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Well, I never saw the full. What was that about? I just
Oh,
saw.
it's-
Like,
Yeah, someone trying to be a little bit like mocky, but I mean, it was nothing insulting. But it was just like, oh, you know, like yeah, no, Mudryk, no, they could have come to the Arsenal. You could have gone to Arsenal, like, and he just started mocking him, and Mudryk was just looking at him like a zombie. And I'm like, yo, put the window up. Like, he didn't even put
Yeah.
the window up. That was me. I just looked at him and put the window up and just
Yeah.
create a meme.
Just create
But-
memes, but no.
Yeah, I don't know. Mudryk seems like a maybe too much of a nice guy. I don't know.
Madueke, 12 games, 7 starts, never played 90 minutes.
He
There
got
you are.
injured also, no?
Injured, but very similar situation, I guess, with what we have with Mudryk. So let's see. But yeah, at least we had Sterling have a good performance. But listen, we're gonna wrap up, guys. Smash up the like, subscribe. The links are in the description, and hopefully next time you see us, we will have 3 precious points under our belts for the first time since I don't even know when. When
was the last time we won?
I'm talking about
84 years ago.
Premier League, not Champions League.
Bournemouth, I think.
I
Bournemouth.
actually think it's 6 months.
Bournemouth, yeah. We've
That's
won
shocking, bro. That's
like
shocking.
7 games in last 31 Premier League
That's
games.
just
We've won.
shocking, bro. Honestly, after 800 million spent, cut the show, bro. Let's go, bro. Let's go.